When learning a new language, it's very natural to begin by translating. After all, your brain is already comfortable with your native language. So, at first, you might see a word in English and automatically think of its meaning in your language. For example, when you hear the word apple, your brain might say manzana in Spanish or pomme in French. That's a good first step in vocabulary building, but it should not stop there. The problem begins when you continue this habit of translation during conversation. Translating every sentence in your mind is like running a race in slow motion. It takes time to hear the sentence, understand it, translate it, create a response in your native language, translate it back into English, and then speak. That's a lot of work for your brain, and it's not efficient. Let's imagine this situation. You are at a cafe in London, and someone asks, "Would you like sugar in your coffee?" If you have to stop and think, okay, would you like means ist ceq2 view, and sugar is sucre, so they are asking if I want sugar. Now how do I say yes? Just a little. By the time you answer, the moment may have passed. Thinking in English removes that extra step. Instead of translating sugar into your language, your brain connects the word directly to the object or idea. You hear sugar, and you imagine the sweet white grains in your drink. You don't need a translation because you already understand the word. That's what we call a mental shortcut. Another reason translation slows you down is because languages don't always match. Some English phrases don't translate well word for word. Take the expression "it's raining cats and dogs." If you translate that literally, it makes no sense. But if you understand it in English as "it's raining heavily," you don't need to translate at all, you just know what it means. Also, translating can cause grammatical errors. Many language structures are different. For example, in some languages the adjective comes after the noun, but in English, we say a red car, not a car red. If you always translate, you might bring over incorrect grammar from your language. Hello and welcome to Leo English Story. I'm Sarah, your host today, and I'm so excited to help you improve your English. If you're like most English learners, you've probably studied grammar, memorized vocabulary, and practiced speaking, but you still feel like something's missing. You want to speak more fluently and understand native speakers faster. So what's the secret? It's learning to think in English. Now, you might be wondering, what does that even mean? Thinking in English means you stop translating everything in your head from your native language. Instead, you train your brain to use English directly. This helps you respond faster, sound more natural, and feel more confident when speaking. Think about this. When you're in a conversation and someone asks you, "What do you do for fun?" Do you translate their words into your language? Then create your answer in your language, and finally translate it back into English? That's a long process, and it's why you might freeze or feel nervous. But imagine if your brain could hear the English question and understand it immediately. You could respond in English, using words and phrases you've already practiced. No more delays. That's the power of thinking in English. In today's episode, we'll talk about why it's so important to think in English, and more importantly, how you can start doing it. I'll guide you through practical tips, personal experiences, and easy exercises. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who wants to speak more confidently, this episode is for you. We'll cover why translating slows you down, how to build your inner English voice, the power of everyday vocabulary, using visual thinking and mental associations, creating a language-rich environment, training your mind with storytelling, and at the end, I'll give you some challenges and tips to help you practice every day. So, grab a notebook, a cup of tea, and let's begin this journey together. It's time to unlock a new level in your English learning. Are you ready? Let's go. The final problem is that translation takes up valuable mental space. When you're translating, you are using your short-term memory heavily. That means less brainpower is available for listening actively, remembering vocabulary, or forming your answer clearly. It's like trying to carry too many things at once. You will drop something. To become fluent, you need to stop translating and start thinking in English. It's a skill that takes time and practice, but the results are worth it. Once you make the switch, conversations will become easier, listening will feel more natural, and you'll gain real confidence. In the next part, we'll talk about how you can actually build your inner English voice, that part of your brain that helps you think and talk to yourself in English. Let's move on. Now that we understand why translating slows you down, let's talk about building your inner English voice. But what is that exactly? Your inner English voice is the ability to talk to yourself in English, silently in your mind or even out loud. It's the habit of using English to think through your daily life, your ideas, your plans, and your emotions. This is a powerful tool for fluency. Think about how you speak to yourself now. Maybe you think, "I need to buy bread," or "I forgot my keys." These are simple sentences you repeat daily in your own language. What if you started saying them in English instead? It might feel strange at first, but it's one of the best ways to train your brain to use English naturally. Start small. Begin with simple sentences in your daily routine. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm going to take the bus. I feel hungry. What time is it? These short thoughts become the foundation of your inner voice. One technique I love is narrating your day. As you move through your routine, describe what you're doing in English. Now I'm opening the window. The weather looks nice today. I'm making breakfast. I need eggs, bread, and tea. It's 8 o'clock. I have to leave for work. At first, you may need to think slowly. That's okay. Over time, this becomes faster and more natural. You'll begin to form more complex thoughts without translating. You can also use this method when reflecting on your feelings or decisions. For example, today I feel tired because I didn't sleep well. I want to improve my English because I need it for my job. Thinking in English about your personal emotions and goals helps connect the language to your identity. You're no longer just memorizing words, you're using them to express yourself. Another powerful technique is self-questioning. Ask yourself questions throughout the day. What should I wear today? What do I want for dinner? Did I finish all my tasks today? Answer them in English. You don't need to be perfect. The goal is to stay in English mode. Even saying, I don't know yet is a useful sentence. Reading also helps build your inner voice. When you read books, articles, or even social media posts in English, your brain hears the structure of English sentences. Over time, you begin to imitate those patterns in your thoughts. You can also try journaling. Write a few lines in English about your day. This turns your internal voice into written practice, reinforcing what you're thinking. Let me give you an example from my own experience. When I was learning Spanish, I started keeping a mini diary in Spanish. At first, I only wrote things like, Hoy es Kayla, today is hot, or Estoy cansada, I'm tired. But later, I could write full paragraphs about my day. This helped me start thinking in Spanish naturally. You can do the same in English. So, to summarize, use simple English thoughts during daily activities. Narrate your actions out loud or silently. Ask yourself questions in English. Read in English to learn natural sentence flow. Journal in English daily. The more you practice, the stronger your inner English voice becomes. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. In the next part, we'll talk about how powerful everyday vocabulary is and how it helps you think and speak fluently. Let's go. When we think of learning English, Many people imagine long vocabulary lists with difficult or rare words, but the truth is, everyday vocabulary is what builds the foundation for fluent thinking and speaking. You don't need big, complicated words to express yourself. You need words you can use every day. Think about how you live your life. Most of the time, you talk about food, family, work, clothes, time, and weather. You use verbs like go, do, make, want, and need. These are simple words, but they are the heart of real conversations. To start thinking in English, focus on the words you use the most in your native language. Make a list. What do you say every day? Maybe, I'm hungry. Where is my phone? I need to go to work. Let's eat. Now translate these into English and practice saying them or thinking them daily. Use flashcards, or write them on sticky notes and place them around your house, on the fridge, mirror, or desk. Use them in simple combinations. I need to buy bread. Do you want coffee or tea? He is late again. Practice these out loud or silently. They become part of your natural thinking. A great way to build everyday vocabulary is by categorizing words by topic. For example, morning routine, wake up, brush, shower, dress, breakfast. At work, meeting, email, report, deadline, coffee, shopping, price, cashier, receipt, bag, buy, change. Study each group and use them in your own sentences. Imagine little stories in your head. I woke up late. I brushed my teeth quickly and didn't have breakfast. I ran to the bus. Using vocabulary in stories makes it easier to remember. Another tip: use pictures and real-life objects. When you look at your shoes, say shoes in English. When you're drinking water, say water. This links the word directly to the object, not to your native language translation. Your brain starts recognizing the word through experience. You can also label items in your home. Stick labels on your door, table, fridge, or bed. Read them every day. Your eyes and mind will absorb the words naturally. Watching shows or videos with subtitles in English also helps. Listen to how native speakers use basic vocabulary. Repeat short phrases. Let's go. I'm coming. Wait a second. These small phrases are part of thinking fluently. When I started learning French, I made a list of the 100 most common words and used them every day. I didn't worry about sounding smart. I wanted to sound natural. Soon, I could think in French more easily because those words were always in my mind. Don't worry about knowing every word. Instead, master the basics. Basic vocabulary covers 80% of daily speech. That means you only need a small number of words to have big conversations. So remember, focus on common, useful words. Organize vocabulary by theme. Use visuals and real-life connections. Repeat simple phrases often. Don't try to sound smart, try to sound natural. When you do this, your brain stops asking for translation, it just speaks. Next, let's talk about how to use mental pictures and associations to boost your thinking even more. Let's go. When you think in your native language, you probably use a lot of pictures in your mind. For example, if you hear the word dog, you don't imagine the letters dog, you picture a real dog, maybe a brown one, maybe your neighbor's dog. That's called visual thinking. Visual thinking means using images in your mind to connect to words. It's a natural and powerful way to learn any language. When you start thinking in English, using mental pictures and associations can help you understand and remember new words faster and use them more naturally. Let's say you're learning the word apple. Don't just memorize the word. Imagine yourself holding a red apple. Feel its weight. Smell its sweetness. Imagine taking a bite and hearing the crunch. That picture is much stronger than just repeating the word apple 10 times. That's how memory works best, with senses and pictures. Here's another example. The word fast. Instead of thinking of a translation, imagine a car going very quickly. You see the car zoom past, the sound, the motion, that's a full mental image. Now you'll never forget what fast means. This works great with verbs too. Take the verb jump. Don't think of a dictionary definition. Picture someone jumping over a puddle. Their feet leave the ground, arms up. That's jump. That picture becomes the definition in your mind. Now, let's add associations to make your memory even stronger. An association is a connection between two ideas. For example, to remember the word sun, think of heat, light, the color yellow, and summer. These ideas all come together in your mind. If you forget the word sun, your brain can still find the memory through the other connected ideas. Some learners like to use mind maps. Start with a word in the center, like kitchen, then draw lines to related words: stove, fridge, knife, food, clean, cook. Seeing these words visually, all connected, helps your brain group them together. It becomes easier to remember because you understand the context. Flashcards with pictures are also useful. Instead of just writing the English word and your translation, use a photo or draw something. When you see the card, say the word out loud and picture it in your life. For example, for train. Imagine riding a train to work. What do you see? Who's sitting next to you? That makes the word come alive. I used this method when I studied Japanese. For each new word, I found a picture or made one in my head. Even now, years later, I can remember those words because of the strong image I created. Another tip: when watching movies or reading books in English, pause and visualize each sentence. If someone says, "He opened the window," close your eyes and see it. Imagine the sound of the window, the breeze. These details help make the language part of your memory. To summarize, use mental pictures when learning new words. Add senses, sounds, smells, movement, colors. Make associations with related ideas. Try mind maps to connect vocabulary. Use flashcards with images, not just words. Visual thinking makes English real in your mind. You're not just learning a word, you're living it. That's the key to thinking fluently. In the next part, we'll learn how to build a language-rich environment that supports this daily practice. Let's go. Learning to think in English becomes much easier when you are surrounded by the language. This is what we call creating a language-rich environment. Even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, you can still make English a part of your world every day. Think of your environment like a garden. If you want to grow English fluency, you have to plant English words, water them with practice, and give them sunshine with fun and variety. Let's explore how. Start by changing the language settings on your phone, computer, and social media apps to English. This small action makes a big difference. You'll start seeing everyday words in English: settings, notifications, download, share. You see them so often that they become part of your thinking automatically. Next, fill your ears with English. Listen to English podcasts, audiobooks, or YouTube videos every day. Choose topics that interest you: cooking, technology, fashion, sports. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain gets used to the rhythm, tone, and structure of English. Try to listen actively. That means don't just let the audio play in the background. Pause, repeat, shadow, repeat after the speaker, and try to understand the meaning. Ask yourself, what did I just hear? You can also create a playlist of English songs. Listen to them often, read the lyrics, and sing along. Music makes words easier to remember because they come with melody and emotion. Now let's talk about reading. Read simple articles, books, or even comic strips in English. Start with children's books if needed. Reading helps you see sentence structure, grammar in action, and spelling. It also gives you more words to use in your thoughts. Label objects in your home in English. Stick small notes on your table, lamp, mirror, or fridge. Every time you use the object, you'll remember the English word. This connects language to real life, not just to a dictionary. Find a language partner or a speaking group online. Practice short conversations. Even talking to yourself in the mirror can help build fluency. You can say, "Hello, how are you today? I'm doing great. I just had coffee. What are your plans for the weekend?" It may feel strange, but the more you do it, the more confident you become. Another great tip is to use English for thinking about things you already do. For example, while cooking, say in your mind, "I'm cutting the onions. Now I add salt. The soup is boiling." When you do this every day, English becomes part of your thoughts, not just something you study. Write your daily plans or journal entries in English. Start with short sentences. Today I woke up at 7. I had toast for breakfast. I worked until 5. Tomorrow I will go to the market. I want to buy some fruit. Over time, your writing will grow, and so will your inner English voice. To summarize, change device settings to English. Watch and listen to English content. Read books and articles in English. Label items in your environment. Talk to yourself or a partner in English. Write about your day in English. A language-rich environment surrounds your mind with English. You don't need to move to London or New York. You just need to invite English into your daily life. In the next part, we'll explore how storytelling helps your brain remember and use English naturally. Let's go. One of the most powerful tools for thinking in English is storytelling. Our brains love stories. It's how humans have shared knowledge for thousands of years. When you use stories to learn and think in English, you make language memorable, emotional, and easy to understand. Let's start with a simple truth. Stories are everywhere. Every time you talk about what happened to you yesterday, that's a story. When you explain your weekend plans, that's a story. So, to train your mind, begin telling these stories, but in English. You don't have to be a great writer or speaker. Just describe your day like this. Today I woke up late. I brushed my teeth quickly. I didn't eat breakfast because I had a meeting. I walked to the bus stop. It was raining, and I forgot my umbrella. These little moments become short stories, and the more you tell them, the more you think in English naturally. You can also listen to simple English stories, children's stories, personal vlogs, or short audiobooks. When you listen, don't just hear the words, try to picture what's happening. Then, pause and repeat parts in your own words. She went to the park with her dog. I go to the park too. I like walking there. Now the story is part of your experience. Another great exercise is to create imaginary stories. Let your mind play. For example, imagine you win a free trip to Canada. You meet a new friend. What do you say? What do you do? Now describe this in English. Use simple sentences. This is fun. And your brain learns faster when you're having fun. One method I love is keeping a story journal. Every evening, I write a short story in English about my day. Even if it's boring, like I cleaned my room and made pasta, it's still useful. This habit trains your brain to think in English every single day. You can also record yourself telling a story. Use your phone. Speak for 2 to 3 minutes about anything. A memory from childhood. A favorite trip. A funny thing that happened at work. Then listen and improve. You'll become more confident, and your thoughts will begin to flow in English. Even better, tell stories to someone, a language partner, a friend, or even a group online. Start with, I want to tell you a story about my last birthday. Telling a story out loud forces your mind to find the right words, and when you do it often, those words become easier to find. Finally, read short stories in English and rewrite them in your own words. This helps with vocabulary, sentence structure, and imagination. Let's summarize the tools. Talk about your daily life like a story. Listen to English stories and retell them. Create imaginary stories, be creative. Write or record stories about your day. Tell your stories to others. Rewrite simple stories in your own words. The more stories you tell and hear, the more your mind will think in English, because stories aren't just about words, they're about meaning, and that's the heart of real fluency. Ready for the final challenge? Let's go to the conclusion. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of this episode. Now, let's take a moment to reflect and celebrate the progress we've made together. Learning to think in English is not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, a daily habit. It's like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every small effort matters. Every time you say a sentence in your head in English, you're one step closer to fluency. We began by understanding why translating slows you down. It creates extra steps in your brain that make you hesitate. When you remove the translation step, you can respond quickly and naturally. Then we explored how to build your inner English voice, the voice inside your head that helps you speak without fear. That voice gets stronger when you practice thinking and speaking every day. We also looked at the power of everyday vocabulary. These are the words you use all the time. Wake up, eat, go, feel, want. They help you describe your world and create your thoughts. Learning them deeply gives you freedom. With visual thinking and mental associations, we learned how to make English words more memorable. By connecting words to pictures, sounds, and feelings, you make them part of your brain. Creating a language-rich environment means bringing English into your daily life, your phone, your music, your books, your thoughts. You don't have to move to an English-speaking country. You can build your English world anywhere. And finally, we talked about the magic of storytelling. Stories make learning personal, emotional, and fun. When you live in English through stories, you stop studying and start experiencing the language. So what's next? Take action. Start today. Pick one strategy from this episode and use it right now. Maybe you'll write about your day. Maybe you'll label the things in your room. Maybe you'll listen to a story and repeat it. Choose something and do it. Thinking in English is not just a method, it's a mindset. It's about trusting yourself, being curious, and enjoying the process. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes mean you're learning. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this episode inspires you to keep going, keep thinking, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. You're doing great, and I'm proud of you. Until next time, this is Sarah from Leo English Story, wishing you happy learning and happy thinking in English.